Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the weekly Bugle. Surprisingly, on time again from last week. After our 2 week break. I'm here with my co-host Austin
Hello.
and Gavin.
Hello.
And today we got to talk about the wonderful movie Eternal.
The unanimous opinion, that's a wonderful movie
It is a
that everyone on this
movie.
podcast shares.
Everyone,
2/3 of this podcast.
everyone loved this movie in this podcast. Watched it at our local theater, and we had a great time. We're gonna plan on revisiting it and watching it in IMAX at some point, but I'd give Eternals a on Letterboxd I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. So I think that roughly translates
to an
8 out of 10. Yep.
That's
And
my
I think
same
that's fair.
score.
That's a fair opinion. And yeah, Austin, you want to voice yours?
Okay, here's the thing. I want to preface this podcast by saying this before we get too out of hand here.
Give us your review. Give us the number.
I liked the movie.
No, he didn't.
I want to make that very clear. I liked the movie. I thought there was a lot of problems with it, though. So I gave it a 7 out of 10. I gave it a 3
Which
star.
really is only one score below us if you're thinking about it in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But you make it seem like you like it a lot less than we do.
Yeah.
I think I do. I really do.
But then what's a 7 and the 8?
Yeah, 10.
I'm not giving it a 6, man. 6 is way too low for that movie.
What's another 6
He's,
I can
he's,
think of?
he's
that
going with the
compared something
IGN
like that to?
7.
I'm
The
going
good old
with a
reliable.
C in my head. That's a C to me.
A 6
I
is
remember it was a
6
C.
is like a
6 is a D, Gavin.
6 is a D.
So 7
6
would
is
be
a
a
D.
D.
6.
So,
Oh yeah, because a 5's an F. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a 7 is fair because it's a high C in my mind. I really think that's fair for what I thought it was. We can get into that if we want, but first I want you guys to give your opinions on what you thought, so that I can just
Justice,
come
you
in
go
and shit
first.
all over the parade.
All right. Shit all over the parade. Well, first of all, I wanna. In my review on Letterboxd, I chose not to say anything about spoilers. So I will preface this.
We're spoiling it. We're
Spoilers
Okay.
inbound.
It's
for
been
Marvel
it's been
Studios
a few
Eternals.
days. If you're not a real fan,
You're not if
You
you're
haven't
not
seen
a,
it.
you're not a real Marvel fan if you haven't seen Eternals already. Let's be honest here.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
But my overall thoughts on the movie, I thought it was very good. It surprisingly did a great job of balancing out the large cast it had. It wasn't perfect, but it did a way better job than I thought it would. The villains in this movie. I'll start with the deviants. The more I thought about it, after the movie, because like the deviants are like the marketed villains of the movie, and they do fight them a couple times. But after watching the movie and you see that Icarus is really the villain the entire time, and the Celestials, you realize that the Eternals were more of a
Well, Celestial's not a villain.
Well, not a villain, but they did want Earth.
They just got they're completely unbiased.
They're
against humanity.
unbiased,
They're just like
yeah.
whatever we need to do what we need to do.
Because they did at the end, they pulled away 3 Eternals and said, "All right, so if your memories prove that humans are great, we'll keep the planet." But
By the way, there's no chance in hell.
yeah, no.
know,
After
if that really
if the
happened, the Celestial
Celestials
would say
looks
it.
back and sees what humans are, he's not thinking twice before blowing that planet up.
I want you to give a little. I'm just going to give a little bit of a rundown of what they would have witnessed: the Spanish Inquisition, slavery, the Crusades.
And that's
You didn't even cover
all
the Holocaust.
before any. Yeah, that's all before any like the war.
There's no chance that the Celestial would be like, "Oh, this planet's worth it." No.
No, but.
They have the Avengers. They're fine. They're worth
They
it.
have the Avengers, but no. Once you realize that, what the true enemies, I should say, of the movie are, the deviants are more of a distraction than they are an actual threat. Other than the mega dude who started killing and siphoning 2 of their powers. I feel like that could have been fixed as a waste, is if they didn't give him a fucking voice. They just showed a non-speaking deviant, or deviant like the rest of them, but this one can just siphon powers, and that's it. That's all they had to do. They didn't have to give him some voice, Like he's some major character that they'd have in the movie.
They gave him a name. Wasn't it like Koro or something?
Something like yeah, they gave him a name too.
It was something
Pretty
stupid. Like
weird.
what the heck?
I was like, just leave him a nameless deviant, and then you automatically fix that problem. I don't think it's like an entire negative, because once you do realize that they're kind of like a distraction. I put it in like my neutral area in my review for Eternals. But I'd say the only really thing I disliked about the movie was the fact it was. I thought it was paced well, but there's just some stuff that they have in the movie that they just kind of threw you in. Like, I get, like, Icarus can fly, but the fact that, like, each time they need to find Eternal, they immediately show up to that Eternal's location. Like, that like, maybe Icarus just flies around Earth and keeps tabs on all of them. But they just kind of show up like, oh, how's it going? After they
what are you talking about?
When they go and search for the
confused. What are
other
you saying?
Eternals. When they show up to find Gilgamesh and Athena, Phastos, everyone else. Because to them, they broke up after that one battle. I forget which year it was. And they all,
The one with the Druid taking
Yeah.
people, yeah.
Yeah, they all, like, split off then. So unless Icarus just been circling the globe, just, like, checking in on everyone every now and then to know where they're exactly at, it isn't really explained how they just show up at everyone's doorstep.
Which I'm pretty sure that is what
They're Eternals,
Icarus
man.
has been.
They're literally gods. I mean, he's going to know where everyone is.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot of them have stayed in touch. Everyone knew where Ajax was because they'd all been to her place, other than
Well, Ajax is, like, the leader.
Druig. Yeah, but they definitely knew. Dude, you realize that Druig stayed in the same place?
Yeah.
He never left.
Druig never left, yeah.
He took that population into that to him. So, I mean, they know where he's at.
Yeah, I don't
They
think that's
probably
really.
know of him.
I mean, I guess you could see how you'd say that's an unexplained thing.
They're Eternals, though. They know it like a lot. They're
the only people on the planet that have been alive that long.
Yeah,
They know where they're at.
they're
That's at least how I say
apex
it.
predators.
Yeah, but other than that, and then, like, the kind of, like, I don't know where I was going with that. That was, like, the really only thing I really kind of, like, I was thinking of something, and it just immediately left my brain, and I have no idea where it went. I think we talked about this off screen or off podcast. We were talking about how Thanos, his plan kind of actually saved the Earth, low key. It put like the celestial.
Yeah, the Celestials would have
emerging.
happened a lot sooner.
Yeah, the celestial
actually-
emergence would have been on
No.
pause. It would have been paused for a long time because that's like, keep in mind there are 7-point-something billion people on Earth, and for half of those people to go away, you know how many years it would have taken for
Yeah, but here's the thing. It didn't really save Earth because they were brought
it.
back.
No, yeah, it was no, but like
All it did
if
was
they
make it a
didn't
little
bring
bit
back,
longer.
It was postponed by. It would have been postponed by several hundred years because you don't just get like
Yeah,
3.5
not hundreds, thousands of years.
Yeah. You don't get
Thousands of years.
3.5 billion people super quick, but because they're talking about.
Well, in
how,
this day and age, you probably do. But
No, not that. No.
No, but it'd still take a tremendously long time.
Then again, with half the amount of people, people are probably gonna be humping like bunnies. Even the
Thanos
odds.
was right in his own way. First of all, that was like half of life across the entire universe. So think about this. The Celestials probably. I don't know how the Celestials didn't find him a threat. Because
Because that's not what their only mission is to defeat the Deviants. That's what they're programmed to do. Nothing else.
No, not the Eternals, the Celestials.
Oh, the Celestials. Oh, yeah.
Because that could put a big pause on like all of their plans.
But the MCU Celestials don't seem to be able to like actually just go fight in their own right. Like they kind of just like oversee.
No, yeah, that's why they made
the
the
Eternals
Deviants
are their
Eternals.
little warriors they send out.
Yeah,
Like they couldn't really do anything about Thanos.
they could have told like the Eternals on Earth like, hey,
They could
fuck
send
this
an
guy
Eternal
up,
there.
please.
But I mean, like, I think they might have been. Well, they don't see in the future though, so I don't. Yeah, it's a
To be
plot
fair,
hole.
Thanos
Virginia.
happened pretty
That's all it
fast,
is, a
though.
plot hole.
I mean, Thanos
That's
erasing
true.
half the universe came
that
together
did
in like a
happen pretty
day.
quick.
Before that, he was just doing it himself by raiding other planets, which the Celestials don't give a shit
Yeah,
about.
5 years for his Celestials, like. I think it's
Also, if
pretty
you
quick.
think about it, there's a good chance that most of those planets that he was going and killing half the people of like his entire life, like that was like his mission before he got the stones. Those planets could have not been seeds for Celestials.
Seeds for,
Only
Yeah, it's
certain
not like every
planets are
planet's a
seeds.
celestial
Yeah.
seed.
Yeah, and that's true. They can't see in the future. They like literally didn't see him like collecting all the Infinity Stones. I think it's crazy how like the MCU has like two like big universal events, because they talk about like before Eternals, like the 6 singularities, the Infinity Stones are part of like the fucking Big Bang that created everything, and then the Eternals are like, yeah, but the Celestials really put shit in place. Like, yeah, the Infinity Stones caused a Big Bang, and somehow they're spread across the universe, but all somehow relatively close to Earth. But,
well, they're all brought to Earth.
yeah, they're all brought to Earth. But
For some reason, there's no reason. To it
there's
brought
no
to Earth,
reason
but,
that they all had to literally, especially with the power, space, and reality stone. Like the only two that really needed, like Thanos didn't even have to snap on Earth. He could have just grabbed the stones and fucking dipped.
Have you guys seen the comics where Asgard's destroyed and Thor decides to rebuild Asgard on Earth, and he just puts a giant ass kingdom in the middle of a field?
Yeah.
And all the Avengers are like, hey man, you can't do this.
you can't do that.
He's like, why not?
And he's like, I'll kill all of you. Just let me stay here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let me have my city.
Let me have my moment. But no,
It's kind of a wholesome comic.
I did really enjoy Eternals. I did appreciate that it was a different MCU movie, not what we're normally used to.
Yeah.
I really didn't care that Harry Styles is now in the MCU.
That doesn't matter.
I could
Although
care.
that character is very powerful.
No, like yeah, the character's insane.
Oh, it's gonna be big going forward. It's just
going
kind of like
forward, but like, it's, oh no, now we got a whole bunch of white bitches.
Harry Styles is actually a pretty good actor. He was really good in Dunkirk. Whenever that
It's
movie
like his
came out,
only acting credit.
that's his only acting credit. But he was really good in that. So, I mean, he could
He's
be
a really good actor. Granted, it was one movie. But
Well, I mean, like he was good in the one time I've seen him. I haven't seen him be bad, to be fair. So it's like
I mean, that's true. I haven't seen, but
he's got a positive and no negative. That's a good
I was
ratio.
surprised to find out that the voice in the second after credit scene was Blade.
My boy Mahershala.
Honestly, I saw so much shit online saying that it was Magneto, and I fully believed it was. And then Chloe Zhao was like, "Yeah, that was Blade,"
That was Mahershala Ali. That's like
which makes way more sense than the Magneto. theory.
Way more sense than Magneto.
because
But,
that'd be
you know, everyone wanted to believe that it was Magneto.
well, because like the whole time people were like Eternals is probably gonna how they're gonna introduce the X gene or something like the X, and then they're like, but Blade, right? Blade and Kid Harington.
See, that's one thing. It's like that movie already had so much to do. I don't think they were gonna introduce the X-Men into the franchise. Like
Yeah,
that's
not
so
like the
much.
X-Men, just like,
No, it's just
Eternals
after
already
credits,
had a
it-
lot
it
to do in
didn't-
its
It didn't have
runtime.
to. It doesn't do anything with Eternals. After credits, it can be completely.
oh yeah, no. The fun
just
fact.
happened.
Oh
the
well, yeah,
or-
but
the
Joseph was saying that
original-
like people were saying this movie's gonna be how they introduce the X gene or whatever.
Oh no, that
Yeah.
would be way too much.
But, no, did you see that
Movie
the
already had a
actual
tall
original-
task.
One of the after credit scenes they're actually going to play in Eternals was going to be the new Avengers team, or Sam Wilson, like in his Captain America fit, trying to make a new Avengers team. But then
That'd have been cool.
They're like, but no.
Been cool, but I mean like that doesn't
New
really
Avengers are
affect.
gonna
It
be
doesn't
so
have to do
whack.
anything to
They're
do with
gonna
the
be so
Eternals, so it's
icky,
kind of like
dude. They're gonna be such a bullshit team. As of right
As
now,
of right now, they got no one.
it's Strange, Peter Parker, Hawkeye, and his apprentice, Sam, Bucky.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it, 'cause Wanda's not in
everyone
it.
else is off world.
Oh, Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, Shang-Chi. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's about it,
But-
though.
Do you think the Eternals will team up and join with the Avengers?
First
No,
of all,
don't think so.
the Eternals that didn't get
Well, no, actually, the ones on Earth probably
no, the
would.
ones on Earth are
That's what I'm
taken
saying.
away.
The ones on Earth. That's what I'm talking about.
Once Earth got
No, but they'll come back.
I'm talking.
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
to the future. I'm just saying
Oh,
whenever
in
they
the
do the next
future?
Avengers, which is not for.
I know,
Not
no,
the-
no.
not
I
the
see-
black guy.
I see them. I see. So I don't see all of the Eternals coming in and joining the fight. I see some of them.
I see Cersei's.
Cersei,
Thena,
Thena,
maybe.
and
And then
Kingo.
maybe Kingo, but he isn't really a
No,
fan of
he's not a fan
doing.
of that.
He was still on Team Eternals, like
Yeah.
he still was for the Eternals.
But,
He just wasn't gonna fight his own family.
yeah. So I think he'll fight, and then Maybe Druig and Makari. Maybe that's.
Oh, Druig would for sure. Did you guys see the concept of Druig? There's like a character in the comics where Druig puts on like a helmet. It's kind of like and then that would be sick.
That would be
That's a
sick.
canon
Pretty cool.
character.
I
It would make sense.
feel like they have like. I feel like the Pestry Turtles are gonna be like.
Makari would also definitely show up. Makari's
Oh, but yeah,
should show
Makari
up.
will show up.
For sure.
That's
Yeah, Makari is for the people.
like as a speedster in a movie. That's like one of like the best like.
That is the
that's
best
like
we've
the
ever
best
seen.
movie we've seen with the speedster.
To be fair, we've only had Quicksilver, I guess,
We've had Quicksilver in the X-Men
Quicksilver,
movies. We've had.
and
Flash.
Flash and Justice League.
Flash and
That's-
Snyder's
that's
Justice
it.
League looked pretty cool, but I still like the way Makari was done more.
Oh,
Well,
Here,
Flash and
like-
Justice League had like its own really cool thing, but Makari was just different because of like
She fought.
realistically
she
the only
actually,
difference
like-
with it. Yeah, she fought, and this was like in the Flash version, he didn't like fight anybody. He
No.
just kind of helped. He was
did
more
a
like an
whole
assist
lot more
hero. So
saving than fighting.
My favorite character, like powers wise, was the engineer.
Oh, he
That-
was
that
was
dope
so
as
cool.
hell. I love Fastos.
He had like his little
He was
tools
awesome.
and he was just pulling gadgets out and like
No.
he was whenever he was fighting though that was sick because like he turned the two things into like laser things and then he
Yeah.
just flipped
Yeah.
back around and started making like traps for Icarus. That was really cool.
Yeah, he's a super.
I will
cool-
say if I'm getting into my review, I will
Yeah, we
say
can
that
start
I
with yours,
wasn't.
'cause
I love the
Mine
powers.
was just I love
And-
the movie.
My two biggest positive. Well, I'll give my three biggest positives was the dynamic, the way the team fought together
yeah,
and like
absolutely,
worked together.
yeah.
They were better than the Avengers. They
For
seemed like
sure.
a real family.
Yeah,
And the way they
they
fought.
actually did
and the
like
scenes
wombo
we see 'em-
combos on people.
Yeah, the scenes we saw them fight together in, it was so good.
Mhm.
And then the way that the characters flowed together, like as a family, you could actually like get the feeling that they had been together for thousands of years,
Yeah.
like the way they interacted.
Mhm.
I thought the cinematography was the best we've ever seen in the
Oh,
MCU.
for sure.
By a long shot.
think blew
MCU is
everything
not
away.
something known for its cinematography.
Thought the score was really
The
good.
score is amazing.
It's legitimately the
powers
best MCU
themselves.
score overall.
The way they showed the powers and the powers they chose to give to each character were really well done.
Yes.
Now my negatives, I had a huge problem with the villains. I thought that was just the stupidest way to write that. It was
Which Deviant, clarify. You don't have an issue with Icarus. You have an
Yeah,
issue
I have
with
an issue with
Deviants.
no, I have an issue with the way that Icarus was implemented. I think he could have been so good. I think Richard Madden did amazing. I think the character was great. I think the idea of him, staying loyal to the Eternals and just like focusing on his mission and not wanting to backstab them, but like making the choice. I thought that was great, but I don't like the way they just kind of threw it in there. Like I don't know. I just feel like it could have been done
I
better.
think they did.
Like
See,
I think
but
the idea is
here-
really good.
I think they did.
Me, I'm gonna include my review kind of in yours. That way we don't do all three. Because I agree with. I'm like a middle ground of YouTube because I see more issues than Justice does, but I still enjoyed it as much as he did. But I see a lot of the issues you do. So like with Icarus, his character, when you said they just kind of threw it in there, I wouldn't completely agree with that because throughout that whole movie, I was like, for one, Icarus, I know he's kind of like distanced from humanity and whatever, but it feels like he knows something that
No,
the rest
yeah,
of
it
them
does.
don't. So like it's led. I could see like as just an audience member who had no idea, no spoilers about it. I could tell. I was like, okay, I think he might be.
I mean, throwing
either
it in there
playing
wasn't the right way to
another-
phrase that. I don't mean throwing it in there. I just felt like they didn't I don't know. They just didn't give us enough to work with there. Like you can tell the whole time that him and Ajax know something the rest of them don't know, and you can also tell the whole time that he's not into the whole like preserve the humans thing. He's just into his goal. Like he's like super like rigid and
his
stiff
goal in
and like
protecting
robotic
Cersei.
the whole
That's his
time.
only. That's his whole thing. Is
Well,
he loves
no,
Cersei
also
and Arshan.
Follow the Celestial, Urshan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did get the sense that he was doing something background
yeah.
the whole time. But
you
I just
can-
felt like the whole like actual him betraying them, and like actually like going against them, it just felt like rushed. Like you know what I'm saying? Like up until the ship scene when they're about to do it, you know something's going on in the background, and you already see that he killed Ajax, but they don't know yet. And then within like a span of 20 minutes, they're like all out fighting like a blood feud, and then Sprite changes sides, and it's like okay, well.
I thought
Feel like we
Sprite's
could have gotten
change.
more.
I understand that it was because she had a crush, or whatever. I was not a huge fan
Which
of Sprite's
I'm
character.
not-
They
no, I-
squeaked that in the second
They-
act. We got
no.
nothing.
I did not like Sprite as a character.
I
She was
like the
idea
idea
fine,
of
like,
Sprite.
it was like-
The idea of Sprite was
It was cool.
Didn't like it in the movie.
And, like, I think it was, like, you could tell she really liked Icarus from the very first moment she saw Icarus, but it was also kind of like, oh, it's like a parental thing, mainly because
Yeah,
she's, like,
it's like,
tiny,
oh, they've
looks like a
been
kid.
they've been gone for like they haven't seen each other in a while. It's
But
like, oh,
Kingo,
Icarus.
who has been with them for forever, has obviously seen things we don't, and can tell that she doesn't just care for
But yet
Icarus. She
no one
likes
else on the
Icarus.
team got that, except for Kingo, because they were like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
So that was kind of stupid. Also, a big problem I had with Sprite was that, first of all, there's just way too many like themes going on in this movie that just like sometimes are thrown in and like you forget about. Like the whole like Sprite wanting to be older thing and hating that she's in a younger form. We get none of that in the first 2 acts. They literally just burst that in there in the third act. Like all of a sudden she's sad about it and like yelling about
in the
it.
first act.
Yeah, but not enough to make it like a known thing. Like they
Like, I
it's
could
like, oh,
tell
of course
she
wanna
was
be
always
big.
upset when she was around other people. So
Yeah,
I could
but
kind of tell.
then she just like has
But
a
it wasn't
mental
alluded to
breakdown and
enough. I
everyone's
could
like,
agree with that.
yeah, it was just
I don't
like,
think it should have been
thrown
as
in
big of
there.
a. I think if they were going to go the route that she has a crush on Icarus, that should have been the main
It should have been
goal in that last act. It
pointed
should not have
out.
been
There's
like
just too
"See,
much
I've
shit
always
going on,
envied
man.
you." And she said like you've interacted with people. If it was anything that she was envious of Cersei of, she should have talked about how she was envious of him or of her for being with Icarus. That should have been the only thing that she was envious
Exactly,
of Cersei
yes.
for.
And if you think
And she
about
didn't
the
even
movie
say that in
and
her
you
little
think about the
speech.
runtime, they shoved way too much in. Like they just try to do something with each character, and at the end of the day, it's like that's what made the pacing feel off to me. Is there's like too many different like subplots going on, like Thena being with whatever his name is.
Gilgamesh, which
The-
they're actually not
yeah,
even romantically
Gilgamesh.
involved. He's just a simp. Who is
Yeah, but it's just like you got to remember that's a subplot going on. He's taking care of her, and oh, she has this memory problem, which actually doesn't mean shit in the end. She starts fighting, nothing happens. Like they in the forest scene where he dies, they make it seem like if she even like swings her spear or like feels any sort of violence towards her, it's just gonna flip. Then she just takes on a deviant, and it's like, oh, we just forgot about that aspect.
Yeah, see, I feel like his death triggered her to not have to do that anymore, though.
That's
like,
not
to
true though,
like,
because in the forest you're still tweaking.
Well, like
And
after
they never. But Gavin,
Not
if you
after-
feel that
not
way,
after his
you just
death.
made that up.
After-
If you feel that way, you made that up because they never even hinted at that, or it wasn't even a part of the movie that she flipped.
after he
You see what I'm
after
saying?
he
I'm just
died-
saying, like, I felt like, I'm saying I felt like
Well,
that's
you
what
can make
happened because-
headcanons all you want, but the movie wasn't written that
after,
way.
After he died, she was like, you see her like over her body, just saying, "I remember" over and over again. But that's like the only hint we have. Like something changed in her.
That's not even something. That doesn't even allude to anything. Literally, they just throw in subplot after subplot after subplot, and it's like, oh yeah, we got to remember this happened, and oh that's not happening anymore, and oh we forgot the deviants were even in this damn movie. Oh here's this one. Oh is he gonna fight all of them? Oh no, he's just gonna go into a cave so Athena can have a one-on-one battle, and then they're all just gonna fight Richard Manzicker. It's just like, what is happening? It's just too much shit. It's not cohesive at all.
Yeah, like, I agree with you that the Deviants subplot is stupid. I don't think that there's necessarily too many subplots. I actually thought it worked. Because since there's so many characters, I mean, like, I think the Sprite thing was stupid. I think Thena's subplot led nowhere. I'll give you that. I don't think there was too many. I think too many of them. I think the issue with the subplots was that they just weren't good subplots. I don't think the fact it was too many. I think that the Thena one was stupid. Sprites was stupid. And here's one thing with Kingo. This is not. I don't know if this is necessarily a side plot, but it's more like a character trait of his. He steps out of the third act entirely. You never see him again after the Dom, the conversation on the Dom. They talk. He says, "I'm not gonna fight," and then you see him at the end taking Sprite to the educational thing, whatever. He had the most reasons to fight. He is the single Eternal who has actually profited from humanity.
Yeah.
He had the most to fight
Yeah,
for.
but you're not understanding it. He profited off of humanity, but he's still on Icarus' side, where that he won't interfere with him, and he's just doing his mission because he understands. That's why he won't
I know,
fight.
but I mean, like, it just was like.
Yeah, but to
I
an
don't know,
Eternal,
it's
the
just
profit
kinda
doesn't mean anything if you're a true Eternal. The rest of them switched up because they felt that they cared about like the people and like the aspect of like saving humanity more. Kingo didn't care about that. He was still
But
on
then, like,
Icarus' side of no, we're here to
he
do a
cares
mission.
about humanity, obviously, because, like, remember earlier in his first scene when he's doing the Bollywood dance after that,
He was like, I love
then,
you
like,
all, but that
and he's like, listen, I can't leave all these people. I care about them. They came out and are on the set with me.
yeah, but he
And
knows
I can't just leave
he
them high and
knows
dry.
what his mission is at the end of the day. So when he learns
then,
that they have to
what's
erase the
his
planet,
name?
he's
His-
like, well,
Pagan or whatever. Is that his name?
Quran or whatever. I think Quran or something like that.
He tells him, he's like, no, you need to go. And that's what makes Kingo leave, is that he tells him that. It's not in Kingo decides. It's that he's like, okay, it's a human
but-
telling him you need to go.
But Gavin, you gotta understand that he felt that like way, and he was like that with the idea in mind that they'd be stuck on that planet forever, and that their mission was over. That's before he just thought there was a few more deviants that got unthawed, and he's like, oh whatever, we'll go kill these. He had no idea that they were like the planet was gonna end, and that
That's
was
true.
the real
That's
mission.
true,
So
yeah.
once he learned that, he's an Eternal. He's programmed to be like, okay, well, time to do the mission. Whatever, I have to leave these people. I do agree though they shouldn't have just let him walk out. He was one of everyone's favorite characters.
Yeah.
Find a way.
I enjoyed him in the. Like,
I
I
liked him a
enjoyed his
lot.
humor, and I enjoyed Kingo. He was probably like my
Yeah.
fourth or fifth favorite. He wasn't necessarily my favorite Eternal, but I liked him.
I haven't really thought about like which Eternal was like my favorite. I have like a good list of like the people I thought were like cool.
And then one of my other complaints
Definitive favorite.
was Druig's thing, like where he had like his little cult of people. I don't know, it was whatever, but I really do think that Druig's subplot was one of the better ones because he gets like,
Definitely.
it's not like wasted.
Had a good
It means a
support.
lot because that you see what you see. He's the one that starts the whole
Yeah.
like humanity debate between the Eternals because he brings up why are we watching them fight? Screw
Because I can
screw our
stop it all
celestial.
with the thought.
He's like, you know what this
I
takes
could stop
on
them
me
from fighting.
to have to watch all this bloodshed whenever I
That's
could
why. That's why I
stop
think
it.
his was probably
He was one of the best
most, if not
written
one of the
Eternals
most
as a
important
whole.
subplots.
He was really
yeah,
well.
because
he
he's
was
the one
really
that started
well
this whole domino effect
Mhm.
of what they believed.
And here's one thing. I think that Icarus and Cersei's relationship was pretty well done, but the chemistry they had was nothing compared to the chemistry Druig and Makari had. Those
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
had some chemistry.
They
They
had
were
chemistry
flirting, and it
going
was
on.
like, I was like, I could see
Yeah, that's
they've
what-
been
that's what I
feeling each other
didn't
for a
like.
while.
First
Yeah.
of all, I wanted to see more of Cersei's and Icarus. I think if they're gonna put that as like a big theme of
Agreed.
the movie, make it run throughout and make it to where it's always in our face. It's just it's like one scene, like a 20-second scene, and then the rest of it they're just like kind of like looking at each other, and like, oh, we used to have chemistry. They don't even look like they know each other when they meet back up.
See, I
Which
feel
were-
like they like throughout the movie it looks like because like they're Eternals. They've been together for centuries. I think it
Here's
feels
the thing,
like
exactly.
they're old lovers.
They were
who
dating for
have been-
5,000 years. They were married for 5,000 years, and when he shows back up in London after only 100 years, which is nothing in their time, he just like looks at her, and she doesn't look that stunned. She's like, oh,
I thought it was like 500
Icarus,
years.
so you
It was more. It was more.
it was 5,000. It was
No,
5,000.
they're together for 5. They're on Earth for 7,000 years total.
7,000. They were together for 5,000.
They're together
of
for
it.
5,000, and they were away from each other for like 500.
It was 100. No, it was only 100. Because she
I
said I
could've
haven't
sworn
seen you in
more than
over a
100.
No, it was
century."
over 100.
It was 100, if not a little bit more.
'Cause,
trust me.
Because Sprite told Dane that
Yeah.
she hadn't seen her boyfriend in 500 years.
hmm
But that
Either
is-
way, that's
it's not
nothing in their
not that
time. Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like
I
if you're
felt
gonna
like-
give us that, make it more important and make it seem more emotional. I get that Icarus acts like a robot and like he acts like a military like programmed soldier, but if they were really lovers for 5,000 years, that's how they're gonna look at each other when they see each other again for like without seeing each other for 500 years. You don't even like every time they look at each other, it's like okay, this should be like an emotional thing. Like you can see them like looking at each other like they've been together for so long. You don't really get that aspect. I feel like enough. And I'm not mad about it being a romantic thing. I wanted that to be a bigger plot point. I feel like it was also just kind of like sort of in the background while all this other shit's going on.
I think the relationship was believable. I think it was pretty good. I
It was
feel like they could
believable.
have spent a little bit more of
Yeah.
all of the problems boil down to the fact that this is either the movie needed to be longer or they didn't
The
need
deviants
to
need to be
have
squashed.
as many. Huh?
I think it boils down to if you fix the deviants, then
I
you
feel
get.
like-
Deviants were
a
just like,
better
but they
overall
weren't even like a
story.
huge, like,
But,
time-wise.
but that's the thing, Gavin. No. For the first 2 acts, they're fighting the deviants. It's not until the 3rd act they even have a new villain, which is Icarus.
Well,
the
it's
first
just
2
fights,
acts are
though. It's not
dedicated-
like, which is good. You want those fight scenes because it
But their
shows the
sole
Eternals
purpose
being
is to
the
kill
team
the
Eternals.
deviants, and then the deviants don't end up meaning shit to the story. Other than the fact that they were there to kill
Well,
them,
like-
they don't mean.
The deviants
You-
are their main goal.
I'll tell you a huge waste of time right here is whenever Ajax get killed and you see him go back and suck the powers out, and then he gives each of his boys a power, or like beefs him up a little bit, and it's
Yeah,
like, oh,
that
we
was
got
a
like
waste of time
now we got
because
like a
it
team
led to
of like
nothing. I
apex
agree.
predators. You see him for 10 minutes in the forest, and it's like, oh, are they all dead now? And then you're like, oh, where'd the last one
It
go?
was
Oh,
weird.
he'll show up in the
It
last
was-
10 minutes, not
It
doing
was
anything.
weird to show that scene of him beefing up everyone after we saw each and every one of them die.
Yeah, weird. That's what I'm saying. The pacing, not almost time-wise, but when they choose to put the scenes where, it's just awkward.
And the thing
The
is, it's
editing.
like it's that and the fact that like their main goal is to like hunt down the deviants and kill them. That's like their mission. Except for they spend none of that movie hunting them down. They don't find the deviants are what find them. Even though their mission is
Which
to
is also
defeat
kind
the
of-
deviants,
Yeah.
they did nothing whatsoever to seek out the deviants.
Well,
Yeah,
to be
because-
fair, every time they get
well-
attacked by them, they're trying to find another member of the Eternals to like build up their
To
squad
take out
again.
the
That's fair,
deviants.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Every time they were attacked,
they
they
felt
were in
like
the
they thought
process.
they had taken out the deviants. Remember, because in that scene between Ajax and Icarus, she's like, once they go here, this will be the last of the deviants. So they think they're chilling.
No, yeah,
Then
they
they
think
get
they're
attacked
chilling, then they
in
get
London.
attacked.
Well, the only reason they weren't is because the ones got frozen.
Yeah.
They really were chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were chilling. And then it wasn't like they were supposed to be hunting them. They were just trying
No, they're just
like
trying to
get the
save-
band back together
felt
so
they
they
were
could
all
go
gone.
kill the deviants.
I like it. Also,
I mean, I just feel like that was.
I want to point out
weird.
they all like if they all like saw each other like in there with other humans that they were friends from college, but if they split up in like 1500, was college even a term?
Oh, I forgot which one it was, but there was a huge plot hole I recognized that I was like, that's major. I can't remember where it was, but in one of the scenes where they were flashed back in like an older time, they used a word of some sort that was like, that's a human word, and no one knows what that is yet. So what are you talking
that's
about?
that's like one.
No,
I
I
mean,
forgot.
like,
No, I forgot what it was, and I was like, in the movies, I was like, that is a huge like. Did no one catch that? That shouldn't have been said.
I think that's one of those like minor
that's one of those things that like
they
nobody's
forget-
gonna know.
yeah.
Like you
It is
noticed,
minor,
but
but I
I don't
caught
think
it.
anybody else was noticing.
Austin's out here like I listen.
I'm be real with you. I don't think a single other
No,
member
it
of
was
the
something
audience
that I was like,
noticed
I was
that.
legitimately like, what? Like, that doesn't work. I'm
I
trying to
think
remember
it's
when
one of
it was,
those
but I
things.
can't.
It's like they didn't want to go back and like date whenever a certain word was used, and they just went ahead and said the word.
Yeah, but it caught my attention. and
Some
I was
words
like,
have
that's
risen,
not a
and
thing.
like, have you seen those charts though? Like when it's like the usage over time of the words. I mean, some
That's
words
not how
were
that
used.
Works, though. They weren't using like common technological terms during the times that they were like Babylon. That's not even.
Are you talking about like when
know.
Fastos created the engine?
No. That makes
Okay.
complete sense.
Okay.
That's completely fine. That's why you know what I'm saying has a little bit of value, because that was completely sense. The thing that I'm talking about is like they used like a slang word, and I was like, what? Like, where the hell did that come from? That wouldn't have been a thing. I can't remember what it was, but it was something really weird.
I liked how like, so I don't know about what the slang is you're talking about, but it seemed like back in the olden times, they were like very regal in the way they, like specifically Icarus and Cersei, the way they acted and talked, and Ajax too. They were very like higher society acting.
Yeah.
And I thought it was nice because they're the Eternals. They are.
Oh yeah, well the thing is, it's
Like
like,
the
they,
apex
they're
predator.
gods, and they're like, yeah, build us Babylon around the Domo. We'll defend you if you build us this really sick looking city around our ship. We'll take care of these monsters.
And I think the scene
we
where
just gotta make Babylon.
the scene where Druig was, whenever he brought up the fact about humanity, that whole scene was done really well, I think, even if it did
That was a great
revolve
scene.
around the Athena subplot, which was stupid. But and also, Angelina Jolie's one of the most marketed parts of this movie.
They
She was barely in the
Mark,
movie.
That's the thing. Oh, okay. I want to put this on like a side note thing. It's like, so the Eternals like were on Earth for a very long time. Where the fuck were they, and whose side were they on when the Crusades were happening?
They didn't touch anything.
They
Oh,
weren't
wait,
touching
shoot,
it.
yeah,
It wasn't
no,
affecting
yeah.
them.
No,
have to
they
watch.
watch.
Yeah, they. That's just like with every other world war. They were like, that's
they
not
do
my
do
stuff.
little stuff. They pull like kids out of the way and like they like tip the favor. Sometimes it's unfair, but they don't like actually like fight.
That's
for
not
one side.
changing the
That's
course of
true.
humanity, though.
Still.
Him accidentally releasing guns definitely changed the course of humanity.
Oh yeah.
Also, I thought it was stupid. Here's one little thing that kind of pissed me off is that they made the whole thing like, oh, if he gives them any technology, it'll be early and it'll change everything. he was crying over the fact that he helped with a nuclear bomb, yet it went off the exact same time it did in our timeline. So either way, that puppy's going off. Because we know that in our world, it happened the same year.
I think that wasn't supposed to be like an alternate. I think that was more like the atomic bomb happened because of Fastos at the time.
No, I get that. No, but I'm saying
so
from as a person
like
watching the movie,
time.
from a person watching the movie, though, you think, oh, like he gave them muskets like 100 years early, so like, oh, it's gonna affect stuff. So his whole thing is he's scared to give them technology too early. But for us, it's like, wait, that happened in 1945 in real life, and it happened the same time for them.
I think what happened is like you gotta remember, like this is kind of like a retelling of like how all the events on Earth happened. So I think what is
I get what you and Gavin are trying to say, that it happened that year because of him. But I'm saying from a person watching the movie, this doesn't have anything to do with like what's inside the movie. It happened for us in that year, and then you see it in the movie. It's like a whole thing that he's like gonna give them like technology too early. It's like, oh well, it would have been cool if he showed like 10 that happening, because you're like, oh shit, they kind of blew their load on that one because he gave it to him too early. But for me, it was like, well, that happened the same time for us. I mean, cool. I guess it took him that long to get there. I thought those aren't broken at all.
I thought when we were leaving the theater, we figured out that the time was reasonable for them to have muskets.
No, it was.
Yeah,
I'm the one that said that. I know that said they were only like 100, like 50 to 100 years early with this.
It wasn't.
Because the Spanish started using muskets like right after that, like 150 to 100 years. But, which is why he wouldn't have actually messed up history that much. Because that's what we were talking about. Like, did he affect history? He really didn't.
No, if he went ahead with a steam plant in Babylon,
that would have
destroyed
that would have fucked the shit.
He made a combustion engine.
So if I just show him
like
this,
1,000 years too early.
If I show him this, it'll be great, right? But
what would that have done to our society?
That would have
we would have been highly advanced.
We'd be so further, like the flying cars in 2020 thing. Definitely.
We would have.
Flying cars.
We would have been.
Flying cars will never happen. Listen to Elon Musk. They don't work.
Hey man, we got Fastos out here. If they all start with
no. By the laws of science, they're inefficient compared to a train.
We're humanity. We don't care about efficiency. We just want to do stuff because it's cool.
Cares about efficiency?
Our entire society is built on efficiency. We have drive-throughs, like 5 every 1 block.
I like kind of like all the examples you could have chosen. You said we have drive-throughs.
That's the epitome.
Realistically, it's the best example of conveniency. But
we have ATMs everywhere and in gas stations. By the way, gas stations are built to be efficient, so you don't have to go to the bank to get your money. Everything we do is built on efficiency. Yeah.
So
we definitely would have been space colonists, though, for sure.
Oh God, with that level of agriculture,
yeah.
Oh, you know what realistically would happen?
No.
One civilization would have figured it out first, and then just completely monopolized the entire world. We'd be living in like a Nazi state right now.
Yeah, Babylon would have been the first.
Everyone speaks the same language.
Yeah.
We all go to the same schools.
Yeah. That would have been crazy, like alternate events if they actually Fastos was just allowed free reign with showing them technology.
They could have played with that more.
It would have been cool to see that too, yeah.
That could be a what if in the future.
Oh God.
Fastos mess up and makes like something crazy.
What if Fastos gave humanity technology or something like that?
I can see them doing that. Whatever they got planned for that second season.
As a whole, I think the movie was really good. It's got its problems.
Every movie has its problems.
Like I said, it's a good movie. While watching it, I felt like it was a cum shot of things going on.
Despite its flaws, it was very enjoyable. Really liked it. And I think Icarus, this is something me and Austin disagree on. I think Icarus is one of the best written characters.
I think so too.
In a single Marvel movie.
I disagree on that heavily. Oh no, when you said a single Marvel movie, I heavily disagree with that. That's bullshit. You're saying he's the best in a single? Oh, a single? Okay.
You can't compare
then
to like
you're making a better
Iron
case.
Man
You can't
movies
compare him
for
to, like,
2008,
people who've been in
2009.
No, I wasn't even going to bring that up. I was going to bring up Steve Rogers in First Avenger. Shorter runtime. I think they got more through with his character in that amount, for sure.
I mean,
yes. Think about it, for sure. Easily.
he just has his one thing where he's just like, I'm the good guy.
That's not what it is. You see him go from a weak kid that all he wants to do is protect his country. Then he gets what he's going after. He has trouble with it. Then he starts fighting. He becomes a leader. He finds someone he loves and he dies in the same movie. Yeah, but it's more than that. You know that. Don't play dumb.
I mean, like, it was good. I'm not saying he's not written badly. I'm just saying, like,
I just felt like so great about Icarus. He's just a robotic piece of shit that just changes at the end. Reveals what he actually believes.
I just think that throughout the movie, he struggles with. You can tell he's struggling with deciding whether he's going to. I think that's the reason why his decision wasn't till the last minute about whether or not he was going to follow with Arashim or side with the rest of the Eternals.
Someone asked for
every time they got together and were talking, and he was like, "This is Cersei's decision," because I don't think he was ready to choose yet. He was like.
He was really hoping.
Well, no,
Cersei, he was
no,
really
I'd like to.
And he
I'd like
gave her every
to
chance
add to
up
that.
until
No,
the end.
I disagree heavily. He was sad whenever he had to turn against his team, but he never hesitated. He killed Ajax with no problems, and then cried over a dead body because he was sad about what he did. But he never hesitated. He wasn't torn at all. He knew as soon as Ajax told him what his decision was. He never hesitated.
No, I don't think he hesitated. The only time
The only time he ever hesitated is when he wouldn't shoot Cersei.
But I think it, like the reason why like it took every time they asked like his leader, like, oh, Icarus, your leader, he wanted to give Cersei every chance to still follow through with what the Celestials had planned, and he gave her like every chance up until that last time.
I think also part of that was him not wanting to reveal himself, because if he became the leader, then they would have obviously started seeing his choices sway one way. By staying in the background and letting Cersei guide it, he could just see where it ended up and then make a final decision at the end.
And I really like how they did the scene with him not being able to shoot. He couldn't bring himself to shoot at Cersei.
Yeah.
And then how he's just like, well, I'm going to go kill myself because I'm not
I didn't like that. I liked the scene with Cersei's, but I mean, I get Icarus flew too close to the sun. But that's how you're going to kill that man? You're just going to fly into a star? Like, bro, that's kind of abrupt. Like, when I was looking at them, like, having that emotional moment, and like they were connected to, like, the one mind, I was like, what's about to happen? And then he just literally just goes and kills himself. I was like,
I think it made sense, though, because he was like, I mean, like, I failed my mission.
Yeah.
The girl I love, I couldn't change my...
The way I saw it was, I can't face the Celestial, and I can't face Cersei's, so I have no other options but to end my life.
So I'm saying, he failed his mission with the Celestials. Cersei doesn't love him, and like, I don't think he's like, she's moved on, man. She's not with me anymore.
Yeah.
Now,
you can't go back to either side.
His only option to him.
Yeah.
He thought would be to
which I
never said it didn't make
sense.
I just thought it was stupid how he just murdered himself. Well, yeah, he's gonna. All that has to happen is Ursham or whatever just makes another one.
Oh well, yeah,
that's
that's
probably not the way they're gonna do it, but that'd be like
group chat in the comics. Icarus has been, I think it was called Reborn. It wasn't like anything with Ursham necessarily. It was some sort of, I don't remember exactly how it was done. I don't think it was just another robot because it was the same Icarus, just reborn, to where it was.
Yeah. So there's I feel like there's a chance that we can see him again. You know, actually, and after seeing his Celestials,
you don't get Richard Madden, get him for a movie, and be like, nah.
Yeah, no. I think after seeing the Celestials and the Eternals, I have good hopes for whenever we see Galactus and
Galactus. Yeah.
Because
now they're gonna still power dampen him.
Oh, they're gonna power dampen him
visually very well.
But visually.
Oh no! Don't even get me started about power dampen because I'll start screaming again. There's so many characters that have just been shit on. I can't stand it. I literally can't stand it.
Oh, random thought. One thing I didn't like about the character writing in this movie is like I love Fastos' character, but it made zero sense. I was thinking this in the theater. I'm like, okay. You love your family. That's what you care about is your family. But you won't fight to protect them? He kept being like, no, I'm not going to go fight. I got to be with my family.
He just doesn't want to.
They're what I care about.
Literally.
No, he just doesn't want to mess with it. He doesn't want to mess with it. He just said
but, like, if he loves his family so much, he would do anything he can to protect him. That's what he was saying. He's like, I will do whatever it takes to protect my family, but I'm not going to go fight. It's like...
Yeah, but that had just been sprung on him. He didn't know. He's like, well, am I going to go... am I really going to go, like... threaten to kill the world or like go fight something, or I could have spent my remaining days with my family.
He also like said he was like, if the plant, he goes, plant blows up, I want to be here with my family. If the plant blows up, he goes,
Because
I
to be
didn't
fair,
hear
if
that
you
line.
think a celestial is going to blow a planet up, you pretty much think it's inevitable.
you think it's inevitable at that point.
If they didn't have freaking girl Mr. Freeze on their team and somehow they just link condoms and all of a sudden she has the power of a god, then it would have happened.
I like the way that looked. The whole cinematography is really good, but I also like the way like you said, the powers were depicted. But I also like the way the suits were because they looked
I love the
different.
suits.
Like
I
if
love
we're
the
being real,
suits.
every single Marvel suit like kind of look like they look different, but at the same time they like a lot of them look like they come from
No,
the
their
same
team
tailor.
suits were sick. They all
They were
displayed
dope,
different.
yeah.
They all displayed different like stars, and then they related to their powers.
And I like the gold lines that kept flowing out and everything.
Yeah.
I
The only suit I didn't like was Ajax.
aesthetically, the movie's fantastic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think Gilgamesh's stupid was kind of character was kind of pointless overall. Ajax's was.
Oh,
very
I like
integral to the
Gilgamesh.
I
plot.
like it.
No, he was funny,
Like him,
but he was like. Besides that, he was like.
his power was cool because I like
Yeah,
how they
how-
had the separate teams. They had like the fight
fighters
team
and
and like the support,
Mm-hmm.
and like all the fighters were like trained to fight together, and then all the support were like kind of like they did their own little thing. Dude, the fighters fighting together, that scene where they're fighting the deviants in front of the gate, that is
That-
so
I-
good.
that was
That
How
one,
they
that's
throw
so good,
somebody.
where they throw him up and then Icarus comes in and boom.
Yeah.
And then
Also, the scene where Gilgamesh is like standing there and like the deviant like gets up behind him and he just
And he turns
Mhm.
around, just
realistically, this movie made me miss having having a Superman movie so much because I'm like, look at this. This is what you can do. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's better
Seeing
than
him
I've ever
fly
done with
what you
around
can
and
Superman.
do with
shoot
Superman.
and shoot laser beams, but you're just Warner Bros. Are like, no, we don't do
No,
Superman.
what Warner
Not
Bros.
about that.
Prioritizes
Batman.
is Batman jailing Superman only to have him break out of the handcuffs and
no,
intimidate.
that's my favorite Superman scene when he's just sitting there like this and he stands up and just goes like this and they're all like,
Because he
Because-
only in that scene specifically, he was only wearing the handcuffs because he wanted to ease everybody's minds. He was like, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna play along, and then they were like,
there's
listen. And
literally
he was like, all right,
no
you listen.
like
And he
restraint.
just
He just
easily just
he
looked like he
just
was
stands
just
up.
Also,
moving his hands.
Just
Another thing I
crumble.
want to point out about like good old Superman is in BVS. Oh wait, no, it's through lead. I was gonna say he couldn't see the wheelchair, but
Well, yeah, that was
King
very
James
clearly a
lead.
plot point. That
I
it was
could-
Also,
on
why
through
do
it.
they never use his X-ray vision in any of the
Because
movies? It's
anytime
never a
they
thing.
try to, they go, "Oh shit, lead!" And there was lead involved.
But it's so stupid.
It's always
It's
like
just
he can always
use
use it, but like they sometimes will talk about him using it, but like the main thing is
But
that
they
like
never
when
show
bad
it.
things happen,
It's
it's
one of
because
his
it was
big powers.
No,
He has 4 main powers: flying, superhuman
No,
strength.
my biggest
laser
issue that
eyes,
they never
and
show.
energy.
he has
Like
frost
they
breath,
never
too.
show his cool breath. He's got his cool breath,
Yeah.
which in
the
Superman
only-
Returns they use awesomely whenever he goes underground to stop the gas explosion. It's such a good scene. That's the
They
only
never
time
use
you've ever seen
Superman
it.
the right way,
Yeah.
ever.
it's like
And the recent stuff, they
yeah,
barely
with
use
with
any of his
Henry Cavill
powers.
Superman, they show him flying around, super strength, and laser eyes, even though he has a way bigger arsenal than that.
Yeah, he only
They've
had
never
3
done Superman
movies, and they were
right.
like, yeah.
Man of Steel was okay, but even then, I was like, it could have been better. And don't even get me started about the original Justice League. That's the worst iteration of Superman ever.
Oh, it's just, I'm happy and I like justice.
Now I'm mad, and I want to kill my teammates. For some reason you don't know.
Martha. Oh shit.
Now instead of blowing Gal Gadot's face off with my laser eyes, I'll just throw her into some stuff. He could murder everyone so easily. BVS should have been Superman kills Batman.
no, but
I will end this debate right now. I don't care how smart Batman is. I don't care how many gadgets he has. Superman is blowing his brains against
Hayden's
a
gonna
wall
message
in
you
the
when
first
he
25
listens to this
seconds.
podcast.
Nothing is stopping him. What does Batman have? Nothing.
No, I've always said this because Superman isn't a person to resort to killing. So if Superman, if he wants to kill Batman, it's a done deal. There's no
it's
chance
over in half a
Batman
second.
has.
He will
and
never
the
do
fact
that.
The,
Has a
the
full
only
game.
reason these fights ever exist is that Superman's like, yo, I don't want to fight. And Batman's like, well, we're gonna fight. So come here.
No, and no, and
Also,
even
we'll hypothetically say that they have Krypton bullets, or he's got a spear with it like kryptonite on the end. That ain't doing shit. What are you gonna do? Throw it at him? Oh, what are you gonna do? Shoot at him? He
Oh well,
could not
the
be
only way he was
shot.
able to use the spear was because the bullets only work if he's caught off guard.
Well, we never
But the
seen that.
spear
Yeah, but
only-
that's not gonna happen.
You see the bullets in Superman and Lois, and it's actually done pretty well because he gets ambushed, and it's the only way it could ever work.
The
But
only shit we saw
Batman
in
vs
BVS
Superman, the
was
spear
gas.
works because he had he used the gas
He used
that
the
he
gas
had
a
never been
lot.
exposed to kryptonite before.
No, I know
He's
that.
never
but
been
still,
exposed to
you're-
kryptonite.
Here's the thing, though. He can just fly into the atmosphere where nothing can reach him. You're not getting him. Even if you ambush him, it'd be so easy for him to stop that.
The thing is,
Well, if it's a
even
Superman who understands what kryptonite is, then yes. But this was in BVS specifically. He's never known what kryptonite is. This is the first time it's ever
Even
been
then, though, he
shown to Henry
reacts so
Cavill, so it
fast
made
at things.
sense.
Like, they just shit on him.
Well, he
Like,
caught it,
he's-
and he was like, "What is this? What you trying to shoot me right now?" And
I
then
just don't like
exploded.
it.
So I think it
There's
made
so
sense
much-
in BVS more.
No one's touched
just
it.
because it was his
And the
first
weird thing
DCU.
is, like, even in media where Superman, it does like just straight up kill, like Injustice and shit like that. Even though he could very easily kill Batman, and that's like no hesitation. Somehow never does it just because of their like favoritism toward Batman. But he could do it in
I'm
a
gonna say
blink of an
this.
eye, and they never do it.
The only person that's giving Superman hands in the Justice League is Flash. Only person that's even come close to matching him in
Yeah.
strength. Those two is a fight.
Simply
Him
because
versus
he can
Batman
move
is not a
way
fight.
faster. He can move so much faster than Superman.
Flash's arsenal is about equal to Superman's in my opinion. What he can actually do if you look at the comics, he has so many buffs and things that he can do that honestly can match Superman. He's faster than him. He can become stronger than him if he wanted to, just through the way that physics work. He can play with time. Like, it's just, he can match him. Batman can't.
Yeah, Batman can't.
Batman has
Batman
money
can't.
and brains.
Wonder Woman's
just like
only
Stark.
thing is she's strong, and she's very strong compared to like her and Superman are close to strength levels. But even then, Superman's so OP that they have to like
Yeah.
dampen him down in each movie because they don't
That's
want him to
how every-
overtake
that's
the
how
whole
every
show.
comic movie
Which
is, though.
the
It's
only
unbelievable.
time that I can think of that they haven't dampened him down was in Man of Steel because he's fighting Zod, and that's why there's so much destruction because he didn't know he was just fighting. He didn't know what his powers were capable of. And then in Zack Snyder's Justice League, when they're like, "Yo, he's just gonna let loose," I guess it happened in the first Justice League too, but I don't talk about that. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, though, when he just lets loose on Steppenwolf, then you actually see it, and it fits because it's a cool entrance. It's fun. You can let Superman have fun. But Warner Brothers is
They
dumb.
have to dampen heroes though, because if they didn't, there'd be no movies. Like, take Endgame for example. Captain Marvel arrives. She speed blitzes Thanos and cuts his head off. There's no fight there.
That
Comic Captain Marvel compared to comic Thanos, that is literally the most ugly beatdown of all time. Thanos isn't even lifting a finger and he's dead. Thanos is weak in the comics.
No, he's dummy weak. I did like how, even though in Endgame, like, they knew that Captain Marvel was, like, all-powerful, so if she was thrown in at the beginning of that battle, then it was going to be, obviously, one side. So I like how they...
They did
I
it
like how
well.
they kept her
That was our
from being-
biggest fear going in, was that they were going to make her, like, save
Yeah.
the day.
and
they
then when
did
she
it
showed
so
up, I was
so
like,
well.
"Yo,
Yeah, when she
no.
got fucking bitch slapped by Thanos, that's a... Yeah!
I like MCU Captain Marvel, like her power.
Oh, dude, I like her power.
It's
Her
reasonable.
power's cool, but I just think her
movie's
so
terrible.
incredibly mid. It's just like
Oh, we got a second one coming, so get ready.
That second one's got a bigger cast, too.
Ms.
We
Marvels.
got the Marvels.
Woo! Yeah,
Maybe.
it's get crazy.
yeah. So if you guys can't tell, we had mixed opinions on Eternals.
I mean, we all
Still
liked
like
it,
Not
to be
mixed
fair.
opinions.
We all just had different...
After
views.
it was over, those two were both like, that was really good, and I was like,
I still
Yeah,
think
I
it's
was-
one
I
of my
was
favorite
going to
movies.
say,
I still love that movie.
Yeah.
I still absolutely love it. One reason I like it so much, I think, is because you guys know I'm a big DC guy. It felt the closest to like because the Avengers and Justice League feel totally separate. They feel totally different.
no, that felt
But-
more like a DC movie.
Well, yeah, like I guess, but I mean, like they felt like more like the Justice League because the Justice League is very much based on mythology, and like their whole
Yeah.
system has worked on that. And this felt like a actual Justice League movie, and I was like,
It
oh,
was a Justice League movie
Yay.
about the Justice League.
I'm getting a Justice League movie.
I'm gonna say this: if you
That's
guys are looking
Eternals.
to go see it, it is nothing like anything Marvel's ever made before. It is. People were not lying.
It is...
You can't even
You-
compare it.
It's a
Marvel
Chloe
always
Zhao
feels the
movie
exact
way
same.
before
Yeah.
it's a Marvel movie.
You take out the 5 name drops they have of Marvel characters, and it's a standalone.
And it's a cool mythological
It's
movie
a cool
about heroes.
mythological standalone movie about people who have like godly powers.
I can't even believe how different it is than all that. Like every single other Marvel movie in their lineup feels
It's
exactly the same as the last
copy
one,
and
just like
paste
different
thing.
stuff. This one feels
It is
opposite.
so
And it makes me
completely
so happy because I was worried immediately after seeing it because I knew how the reactions were or the reviews were. And apparently everybody's like, whatever, it's fine. We think it's a good movie. We're going to make another one.
different.
And I don't know if they'll keep Chloe Zhao. I really hope they do.
I hope
because
they would.
especially
No,
if
they're
it's a
keeping
team-based
Chloe
movie,
Zhao.
They're keeping.
If
Chloe.
they're
they
already-
need to keep the feel throughout the
If
rest
they're
of it.
already keeping her, or like she's working on almost signing off on directing Feige's Star Wars movie, I think they're going to keep her around.
She could work
Yes, that is-
really good for a Star Wars movie that's very grounded, not big scale or anything. Which
We don't
Eternals
even-
was
we
very
don't
big
even-
scale, but I think she could work really good
Oh, yeah, I
in like
feel
a
that
story
movie
about
should-
like kind of like the Vision shorts.
She would be
were.
good on The Mandalorian.
It wouldn't surprise me.
She could totally direct a
if-
Mandalorian episode.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if she ever came down directing an episode.
Just something
here's the
like
thing that I'm
earthly,
kinda
some
figuring
just
out.
like a small thing about just some good old lightsabers, nothing connected to the Skywalker saga. Just standalone.
So think about this. Since the new phases started, what have been the two most Marvel Studios only releases we've had? Shang-Chi and Eternals. They both felt different
Black
than
Widow?
normal Marvel movies. I'm not counting Black Widow.
You know, Black
Black
The
Widow
two
was
most
dog
recent ones,
water, and it
Shang-Chi
was
and
the
Eternals.
most carbon copy Marvel
Yeah.
movie we've gotten.
No, yeah,
It
Black
looked
Think
a
about
little
the
bit
two,
better
though, that
because
they
they
let-
actually had time to color
Think of
grade
the
it
last
this
two.
time.
They let different directors take it over. They let not what we're used to, and they let them do their own thing. We got
We got
the best movie
Which
of the year as far as superhero movies go in
Shang-Chi
Shang-Chi.
yeah,
felt like
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi felt like a Marvel movie. It felt like a Phase 1 Marvel movie, which is different than what we had in a long time.
but it didn't feel like anything we've had in a while.
it
It felt
was
new
felt
and
new and
refreshing.
refreshing.
It felt refreshing. It was very refreshing.
So
Because-
I'm thinking we're going in a
Shang-Chi.
good
I
direction
think we're
here.
going in a good direction because like
now,
what these
we just got to hope No Way Home is as what Tom Holland's is saying in Dark. And
If he's saying it's like that, it's
Really,
completely
yeah.
different than normal Marvel.
And I hope
Yeah.
they keep going with
the
that,
trailer
'cause-
made it look like it was more Marvel stuff. And I'm like, that first
It
one
looked
did at least.
identical to everything else we've ever had.
It looked identical to the other Spider-Man movies. Other
This
Spider-Man
bridge fight better be
Marvel
45
Oh, yeah,
minutes.
this
or
bridge
else-
fight is over half the
movies.
fucking
I want it to be like
movie.
a 5-minute scene.
They-
It's gonna be like
It will
5
be,
minutes.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
It
they,
will
they've
be.
slowly
I'm convinced
released
it's not real,
this,
man. I swear.
they've
I think it's a
slowly
marketing ploy.
released
I
the
don't think it's a
bridge
real
scene
scene.
shot by shot. So like it's like they're just releasing.
Do you guys want to know what my theory is?
What?
My theory is that's when the two other Spider-Men
I can
show
see
up.
that. I can
It's on that-
100%
it's on that
see
bridge.
that. You know why? Because
want to
there
say
is
that because the
there's-
Hey Peter thing.
no. Oh, that and there's
Oh, go
Green
ahead.
Goblin and Octopus. And probably
I'm-
someone else. There's no way Tom is surviving that bridge fight with those two already present.
I can just see him. His suit dies. He's running away like we see in that one still, and then the other two just swing in, and he's like, "What is this?" And then they just start fighting their old villains that they're used to. Like that would make so much sense. They both start fighting the villains that they.
I do feel like they ended on the bridge scene just because Tom can't handle those two villains.
Or here's another theory: they introduce them with their own villains. So you have Toby introduced in the bridge scene, and then
There,
you
and
get
then
Andrew
later
later
when
when
Electro's coming.
when you have Electro coming. Yeah,
That too.
that would be.
That would
cool.
make the most sense considering the multiverse.
I mean, I don't even like
wasn't
to
all at once,
speculate
I don't
because it's
think.
getting so close. I just can't wait to just like
I-
let them lay it on me.
I'm tired
of outside
speculating. I'm tired
ideas.
of-
I want to watch
muted the
their
stuff on
product.
Twitter. I'm like, I just want to go in, just wanting to
New
just
day,
turn off
new
my brain.
leaf.
Or
Just
not turn off my brain. I
bullshit.
want to be excited, but
But you know, when you have something like the other two Spider-Men coming in and it's never been confirmed, you're gonna have
Oh,
so
yeah,
much
so
speculation.
much
And
speculation.
I don't
Yeah,
like
and
how
I'm
people
just-
are just talking like it's already confirmed though. Like it's not ever been confirmed. Like just leave it alone. Wait till the movie comes out to see. People are literally talking like it's a done deal. In no way is it. And not
Did you know
until
that,
2 days ago.
I saw a thing that was like Andrew Garfield has like he's going on to a late night
Oh
show
yeah.
in
yeah.
like 2 days, and he's probably like
He's on
prepping
quarantine
himself
2
mentally.
days.
He's like, okay.
It was the picture
I can
from
do this.
1917, wasn't it? Is that the one you saw? Where he's
Yeah.
in the dirt with
Yeah.
a gun, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, especially it's really sucks is each time he's been on a talk show like that, like a few days before, a leak comes out with him on it, and it's him just
And he's
fully
like,
dressed
"Let
in
me-"
his Spider-Man costume, and he has to go on the talk show and be like, "It's not me, it's."
Night show hosts don't have to adhere to anything either. They don't sign NDAs or anything, so he can ask him whatever the hell he wants. And Andrew Garfield has to keep a poker face with the entire thing.
And it really sucks because like it's only Andrew Garfield that's been like in marketing at all during this whole league.
Tobey Maguire's just going around completing side quests this whole time.
Yeah, he
Wow.
has.
He was on a
yeah,
party.
He's,
out
just,
here.
he's just going around doing shit. And then
What rappers was he
He
with?
was-
Oh, he was with
Lil
Lil Nas X.
and like someone else, and it's just like, He's just.
He wasn't even dressed up though. Did you realize that? Everyone else was dressed up. He was
He's
just chilling.
there. he's just fucking vibing.
I don't mind him as an actor.
Who?
Toby.
I haven't seen his movie, which apparently is really good. I've seen him in Gatsby and Spider-Man. Maybe like one of them.
See, Gavin, didn't you say you didn't like him in Gatsby?
I thought he was
really good.
fine, but when you're put up against Leo, you're kind of like screwing yourself over because Leo killed that role, and then
Let's talk about this. Oh, actually, this is more Gavin. What time are we at, Justice?
We are at an hour.
We're about an hour. Oh, exactly.
Okay, then we can probably start Gavin's corner now.
Oh wow.
We kind of milked Eternals. We have anything else we want to talk about?
I mean, that's the biggest. The only thing is the freaking One Piece thing. But that's not even big.
I
That's
don't
just
wanna
something you
talk
can
about
talk
that.
on for a second.
Hey, you wearing a One Piece shirt.
I hate
You're the
it.
only one who's watched it.
I hate it. Okay? I hate it because I don't hate the casting. The casting's phenomenal. They can't do that show in live action. You can't. Anyone who's watched that show knows that it cannot be done in live action. It is far too goofy and cartoony. It's going to look stupid. You can't do that.
Watch
You just
Luffy.
can't do
They're
it.
like, hey, so Luffy's not stretchy. They're doing a Miss Marvel thing where
Oh
it's like,
my
hey, so he's got
God.
like some magic abilities.
I swear to God, I'll light the lighthouse on fire. I'll find a way.
The lighthouse?
That would be the White House. I'm sorry. I have a lisp
White
because
House,
I have a
okay.
sucker in my mouth.
I was like, what lighthouse we're talking about?
That would literally be. That would make me so mad. I just don't like it. I think the casting was done phenomenally. I just don't think you can pull off that kind of live action. It's just too goofy and too cartoony. I don't see it being possible.
All right, well, Justice.
Plus,
It'll be interesting.
Oh.
I was just saying.
Luffy's a tall order to act as. That
is
character.
also true.
That character has so much depth and is so stupid and funny that's going to be real hard to act as.
But let's start with Gavin's corner segment. Recently, I'm gonna be straight up honest. I have not been playing Jack Diddley squat. I hopped on. I beat
Jack
Guardians.
Diddley.
I beat Guardians like the last weekend, or like right before Friday, last weekend, and then I hopped on Destiny 2 for a little bit before we started recording this podcast, and that's the extent of what I've been playing. Watching wise, I did start Arcane on Netflix, the League of Legends series. It's actually solid. Like the first 3 episodes are out.
Everyone loves
And
it.
it's actually really good.
Everybody's saying
It
it's
was
really
a
good.
whole lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
There's a lot of memes talking about how bad the game is and how good the anime is.
It was a really so far good episode. It's long episode. I wasn't expecting like 40-minute episodes, but hey, welcome, no welcome thing. But it's so far it's really good, so I do recommend that. But that's all I've been doing.
Well, I've been working constantly, and when I'm not working, I'm at school. And when I'm not at school or work, I've been sleeping, so I haven't played anything. Well, I beat last.
And this is a little rough considering our last one was
Oh, no, I
literally
didn't.
like 4 days ago.
Yeah, but,
Our last podcast.
I mean, I'm
That's
at the last fight of Last of Us 2, but I don't have enough time to play it.
Uncharted 2.
Literally. Oh yeah, Uncharted 2. I have literally like 10 minutes of gameplay left, or probably like 30 minutes with all the cutscenes and like shit. But I literally can't play it because I don't have enough time. So.
No, if
Yeah,
you're
I'm
at the
waiting to
tree,
finish
like you
that.
said, you legitimately have like 15 minutes left if you beat that fight in one go. No
How
joke.
much?
Like 15
Like
minutes.
5, you said? Oh damn. Okay. I'm not gonna.
Because you got to go through the fight, and then you have like a little scene after that, and then you have like a cutscene after that. So it's like, yeah,
I
not that
figured.
much.
Yeah, I'm about to beat it. But like I said, I've had no time to do anything else. So I've played that I played it after our last podcast, and that was the last time. What I've been watching, I decided to go back through. So I've only seen like a select few of Tarantino's films, so I'm gonna go back and watch all of them. And I decided to start with one I've already watched before, which is Django Unchained. I forgot how good that movie is. Oh my god, that movie is flawless. It conveys a message while being like, you root for him so much, and it's just so good. Christoph Waltz is literally one of the best actors, I swear.
He's fantastic.
He's amazing. He's my favorite character in that movie, even though everyone else would say Django. I love him so much.
No, he's so like.
Because when he shoots Leo at the end, you can tell he's just had enough of slavery. He's just like, I can't handle this. This person is a terrible person. That was so, dude. I love Tarantino is such a good director. I love the way the
He's my
fights are
favorite
done,
work
and
of
like
the day.
the gunfights are so good. And then when he pulls up on that guy, and he's just like, "You like how like." I like how you die, boy, and he just shoots him in the heart. That was pretty sick.
I have to say I'm a big fan of Western movies. I need to watch that new one that's out on Netflix.
Harder They Fall.
Yeah.
I want to
Harder They
watch
Fall.
that.
I want to
Yeah.
watch that. I'm probably gonna watch it.
People are saying it's really good.
Yeah, I saw some good stuff about it.
I really want to watch.
No, yeah, when he rolls his wrist out and the gun slides down and he shoots him, and then he just goes, "I couldn't help myself," and then he just gets blown away with a shotgun. I was like, "Oh."
I love how
Hell
Tarantino's
yeah.
movies are so over stylized. It's just so good. He uses
I
like every
love
tool
the
in a
crash
filmmaker's
zooms.
arsenal. The like
Crash
the thing with
zooms are
Leo
so
that you sent
awesome.
earlier.
Yeah, I love crash zooms. That movie makes you really think, and it makes you sick to your stomach though, which is crazy that he conveys so much. Like it's a fun movie while also being gut wrenching. Like it's so hard to watch at times. It makes you sick. Like the hot box had me thinking for so long. Like that is just the
that's so
lowest a
horrible.
human can
Yeah.
be. Like that is just it's so terrible. It's just unbelievably hard to watch. But yeah, I started with that one, and I'm watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood whenever I get a free night next. So yeah, that's basically all I did this week is just watch Django Unchained and try not to kill myself from this overload of homework and work. What about you, Gav?
Well, once again, just watched more Naruto.
Oh yeah, baby.
Almost
He's
done with
doing
season
good.
3. I have like 2 episodes.
He's doing
until I'm done with
good.
season 3. And then after I finish this arc,
Real quick, he says. Right, little technical difficulties. The same as the one we experienced before, but luckily it's at the end of the podcast and not the
like
middle.
the very middle of it. Yeah.
But Gavin, you want to round out how about what you've been watching?
I said Naruto. No, watching. I think I covered my watching
yeah.
basis
Oh,
pretty good.
yeah.
I think it was just Naruto. I've been playing. I literally haven't touched my PlayStation very much. I've mainly been watching Naruto or studying. I played Sekiro a little bit over the weekend. I played Sekiro quite a bit, I guess. About 13 hours in. I think I'm halfway through, judging by people telling me about, like, me reading about boss level, like, list of bosses and stuff. So, yeah. And then after I beat this, I can play some Last of Us. Unless you guys get Last of Us, then I'll hurry up and beat that. But I'm really enjoying Sekiro a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's hard. It's so hard.
And talk shit at the beginning too.
I'm telling you, man, it was so easy, and then it just wasn't.
First thing in the
I beat
morning.
one boss at 3:30
Bro, this
a.m.
shit's
the other day.
easy.
This shit's kind of easy. It's easier than others.
I literally wake
Literally
up,
the
walk
night-
over to him. Hey, how you liking it so far? Dude, it's just easy. And then text me an hour later, bro. This game's kicking my ass.
Literally 3:30 a.m. the night we got back from Eternals. I was dedicated to beating that boss. I did it. I was so proud of myself. It was such a relieving moment. I literally saved and quit and rolled over and went to bed.
I slumped. I saw that
I
message. in
I
the
usually
morning.
don't slump out, but I was dead that
I
night.
saw that message in the morning. I was like, this dude was still up.
I was dedicated, man. I wrote my Eternals review on Letterboxd. I put my phone down. I was like, all right, here we go.
I hate
Don't
coming
do
out.
it.
Those movies piss me off because we always go to the late showing, and if they're that long like they have been, we get out at like 1. And it's like, Jesus. Like, when we were at Arkansas, we got out of the movie at 1 a.m., and I was like, well, we got an hour
know.
drive home. Like, damn.
Wait, so you're done working till 9 now, right? Like that shift, if you changed it?
No, I'm still working that shift. I just made it to where I get off Fridays.
Oh, okay, then we're fine. That's fine then.
Hey,
I think so.
Before we end the podcast, we got some really great news. Paul Rudd is.
Oh my God, I was
sexiest
screaming
man.
that at you
Rudd's the
guys.
world's sexiest
No, I was
man.
screaming
know,
that at you guys
that's great.
before.
Man.
That pisses me off right there because when we were all lagged out, when we were all on the call, I was yelling that.
I
and
saw
you guys
that. I
didn't
saw
react.
that 'cause I was scrolling through Twitter earlier. I was like, let's
Austin's
go
like,
Paul Rudd.
Yo, Paul Rudd's sexy.
I would have broke the news first, damn it.
Justice beat you to it.
Beat you to it, man.
Son of a bitch. All right, well, my Twitter's Big Saw Small P.
My Twitter.
I have 8 followers that I deactivate my Twitter, so please, God, go follow me. I feel like I'm talking to no one.
My Twitter's just _ice_2002. I do have a Twitch. I haven't streamed in a while, but I'm gonna get right back on that. And that is over at twitch.tv/icedman02. Gavin?
Catch me on twitter.com at Gavin_R_Cole. And seriously, guys, if you guys have any ideas for our podcast, just follow us and message us on Twitter.
Shoot us a message.
Please. We also are all writing video essays for the channel on games that changed us or made us. And we all have films either in pre-production and written or about to be produced. So,
Yep. By films, we mean short films, of course. We're not.
Yeah, sure. We're not big-time movie directors, okay?
We're just
One
learning.
One thing at a time, you know. We gotta.
Yeah.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Baby step. We'll get there. We'll get there, though, for sure.
We will get there. One viewer at a time. We're chasing this damn dream, baby.
Chasing the bag. But,
No, it's not about the bag, you asshole. Hey.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's about the dream. It's about
Sorry.
making.
Y'all notice we have another
For the
sponsor in
people.
5 episodes? Because she literally
She doesn't
died.
exist. Wait, what?
What?
No. Yeah.
Oh, I was like,
Yo, you
what?
can't say that shit.
All right. See y'all next week. Sorry, bye.
See ya.
See you guys.